Perhaps I look too cheerful and wholesome, with my round head and my practical shoes, for you to believe me, but I hide a very shameful secret, a shameful mommy secret. You're betting I'm about to confess that I ate KFC and Doritos while I was pregnant, which I totally did. Oh, honey, that would be laughable. But seriously, my secret is bad enough that you might hate me a little. It also happens to involve photographic evidence. Buried in a drawer, my dirtiest, most selfish moment ever is recorded on a mini VHS cassette tape. Our first child fit brilliantly into my master plan for life. Avery was born quickly with bright blue eyes that would make her popular, an enviable crop of newborn hair that would make me popular, and as Anne Lamott said it, a delicate lamb of a tush. She would work out just fine as my Meg March, my Mary Ingalls, my mother's helper, leading the ensuing pack of tall, witty, crotty girls. I could see myself so clearly the future mother of 4 strong, beautiful daughters. The time came to conceive and gestate Elena Ann, Avery's first little sister / best friend forever. We did. Fear not, there is no tape. A few months later, I woke up during a dream, real tears drenching my pillow. It was so vivid. It took minutes for me to grasp that the nightmare wasn't true. No. I haven't had the ultrasound yet. I'm not having a boy. Everything is still okay. I can't remember how the technician broke the news that Avery's sister was actually a boy. I recall only the red wall of hormonal rage that followed. A reaction I blame solely on pregnancy hormones. I did my best to mask the disappointment until I got home and made it to my bed. I've seen enough movies to know that the bed is a girl's best venue for a proper tantrum. The tears and self-pity poured out of me in a torrent. What the hell was I doing? Why was I enduring this slew of miserable pregnancy symptoms only to contribute yet another male to the species? A boy who would do mean things like intentionally kill worms and torture baby mice, who would do stupid things like street luge, fart on purpose, or heaven forbid, join a frat. There were no cute baby boy clothes. I couldn't conceive of a single boy name that hadn't been permanently stained when I taught junior high. For the love of God, weren't there already enough men in the world to fill the prisons, start the wars, and take up all the space? Worst of all, a boy would undoubtedly consume all of my love and nurture for 18 years, only to leave me forever and say some shit to his wife like, "We can spend every Christmas with your family because my mom is totally chill." As I lay sobbing on my bed for a full hour that night, curled into the fetal position, my face as bloated as my belly, Matt stood in the door, having the only sane response to my tantrum a person could have. He laughed until he wept and rolled the video camera. Jay was positioned frank breech, rendering the only physically strenuous thing I'd ever been good at, a vaginal delivery, out of the question. I blamed this physiological fluke on him. The poor thing, innocently hunched atop my cervix, his bony head crammed beneath my rib cage, as if he somehow wanted that. He emerged butt first with a bald head a recessed Appalachian chin, making him resemble, for several months, the Hamburglar. His dark eyes stared at me like a serial killer. Those eyes implored, how did I get this mess of a mother? Hardly ever takes off the bathrobe. What type of loser bathes a baby in a salad bowl? Why must she keep the house so cold? I hate her singing voice. It really wasn't love at first sight for us. No. My love affair with J. Crotty was like a campfire that won't light. So you blow and you blow and you blow on the spark, and then all at once, a burst of flame nearly takes off your eyebrows. Jay was 11 months old when he put his first 2 words together. I sneezed while pushing him in the stroller, and he said, "Bless you." At about 3, I asked him what animal he would be if he could choose. He thought about it long and hard and said he'd be a giraffe. Of all things, a giraffe? Why? Because, Mama, that is the animal I could think of that would never hurt something. He carries an eagle feather folded up in his billfold because when he found it, he felt like he'd won a grand prize from nature. One morning, on the way out of church, an elderly man gave him $5 for donuts on his way home because he was so impressed with the way a young boy could sit through Mass attentively. "I'm good at Mass, Mama," Jay explained to me that day, because church music is so beautiful to hear. Jay stops to help. He's kind. He has a powerful cuddling drive. There's a twinkle in his eye. His brother and his sister are his most treasured friends in the world. The love that passes between the 3 of them is the sweetest gift I'll ever receive. Hamburglar is 5 now. I want to wrap him in my arms and kiss him all over his face 100 times a day. Incidentally, his hair, eyebrows, and chin have all come in very handsomely. He killed a bunch of worms once, but he did it by putting them in our freezer, which I've heard is a relatively painless way to go. Oh, and one time he pinched an unlucky goldfish to death. But I can assure you, it wasn't out of malice, and he cried crocodile tears of remorse. So it turns out boys aren't one bit horrible. Boys are wonderful. As my mom points out, I married one, and he is pretty much my favorite human being ever. Even more shocking, raising boys isn't even horrible. It is deliriously, side-splittingly beautiful. One of my biggest mom secrets is that I desperately did not want a boy. One of my biggest mom lessons is that the last job I ever wanted, the job I knew I would fail at miserably, may someday be known as my Magnum Opus.